Hello and welcome to PowerDrift, guys. Now you could be forgiven if you happen to think that we are a little overdressed out here. I mean, look at you, you're a little too classy.
But it does look dapper, right?
Well, it does, but it's a little uncalled for. It's just a PowerDrift review.
Well, it's not exactly uncalled for. Because today we are going to look at something premium and classy. And that is the Mercedes GLA. The GLA on the outside looks quite a stunner, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does, but then the front, it ends up looking a whole lot like the A-Class.
Yeah, only the grille and the headlamps do. But the rest of it looks like as if it's been put on a whey protein diet.
When it comes to the Indian crossover market, the GLA has a new car appeal, while some of its competition has gotten old. And when it comes to turning heads, the GLA leaves no stone unturned.
Well, yeah, the whey protein diet and the muscularity, it has been carried over even to the side of the car with these strong cut bulging lines making the side of the car look a lot more beefier.
And the beefy sculpted back.
Well, I don't quite like it. It does look aggressive, yes, but there are a lot of design elements onto the back of the car, making the back of it look a tad bit too busy.
Open the boot, you have at your disposal 421 liters of boot space. And with the option of a 60/40 rear folding seat, you can unlock a whole lot more.
Well, Varun, but have you seen the space saver? It's eating a whole lot into your boot space.
The steering wheel, the dash, the propeller-like AC vents, buttons, seats, and just about everything is no surprise on the inside of the GLA, as it seems like a mix and match of the premium but elegant interiors of the A and the B class. But there is one little problem.
When you get onto the back seat of the GLA, that's when you realize that the space is a little cramped up in this car. You see, the wheelbase on the GLA is the same as that of the A-Class, and hence it's no surprise that there is not a whole lot of interior space that they have unlocked in the GLA. In fact, it's only as much as what the A-Class can offer, which happens to be a hatch. The thigh support is not really apt on the rear seat. You can't possibly be seating two more people by my side, so you can't really have three people sitting in comfort onto the back seat of the GLA. There are no rear AC vents at all. What I'm happy though is I do get an armrest with convenient bottle holders, and I also get one touch down auto power window function. But yes, my biggest complaint is the cramped up leg room.
Well, Rohan, I'll give you for the leg room, but look at the headroom. It's got an airy feeling with the panoramic sunroof going all the way in the back.
Well, yes, I do agree. But then again, you shouldn't really be in the back seat if you are in the GLA. The place to be is the steering. Now, speaking of the performance, it gets a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine which is churning out close to 181 horses and 300 Newton meters of torque. Now, the diesel engine, well, it is less on horses, of course. It gets 134 horses, but it also churns out 300 Newton meters of torque. Both the engines are coupled with a 7-speed automatic dual clutch transmission, that is the DCT.
The car doesn't get engine start-stop button or keyless entry, but it does get paddle shifters, and along with drive modes, driving the punchy petrol around can't possibly be boring.
You have ample amount of bite on the brakes. You also get enough amount of feedback. There is very little road noise percolating into the cabin. However, what you do get is the petrol engine noise. That could quite possibly also be music to your ears. The eco mode along with brilliant steering is what will help you in your day-to-day city traffic. Now, the steering is very light, it is precise, but there is little to, dare I say, no feedback. Well, folks, I could have been skeptical about a couple of things when it comes to the Mercedes GLA, but then at the end of the day, when the sun sets, it's still a Mercedes, a brand that has earned its reputation year after year for over a century by dishing out nothing but the best.
Well, how do you conclude then a 3-pointed star which is difficult to find faults with.
You do that, Varun, by bringing into picture its competition. And when we say that, we speak of the Audi Q3 Dynamic, GLA's biggest competing rival.
Well, if you go by the looks of it, the Mercedes GLA has a more menacing street presence and is definitely a head turner. It also has greater ground clearance than the Audi Q3 Dynamic.
Spot on with those three things, Varun, yes, but then the Audi Q3 Dynamic has Q lineage in it and as such has more SUV-ish DNA in the way it looks. Apart from that, it also drives a little more like SUV than this. This drives a bit car-like, and that's because of the front-wheel drive architecture on the GLA, while the Q3 gets Audi's patented Quattro 4-wheel drive system. The Q3 is also more powerful, 208 horses as against 181 horses for the GLA, and the Q3 has more space onto the inside in spite of the fact that it has a smaller wheelbase. It's wider and taller than the GLA. Well then, when it comes to buying a compact entry-level SUV, the Audi Q3 Dynamic may be ticking more number of boxes for you than the GLA. And if it's not about SUV, then you may also at this price point go for luxury sedans out there like the Audi A4 or then the BMW 3 Series.
Well, why do you think one should go for the Mercedes GLA then?
Well, one would go for this if one's a die-hard fan of the three-pointed star, loves the prestige and the premiumness that comes along with it, not to mention the luxury that it cocoons you in. One would also go for the GLA if one loves dressing like this guy does every day.